Hello guys, Fearmaky here. We're bringing you another video today on Samurai this time. But before we dive into the video, I want to thank you guys for all your comments, your likes, your subscriptions on Twitch, on YouTube. It's been amazing, the overwhelming support you guys have been giving me. I really appreciate it. On that note though, please again, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe on the video, as well as check us out on Twitch. Follow us there. It's free. It helps me out a ton, guys. All right? Anyways, so the Samurai, a buddy of mine, Omega, is playing Samurai, and we wanted to put it to the test to see if it's actually viable and if it can be a meta class for Season 11. And the gauge that we're using now is classes that can reach and attain a 1 billion plus damage on the dummy. Obviously, we're maxed out gear, maxed out quality at 200 hero level, full runes, and we tested multiple variations. Okay, so the way the Samurai works is you want Shadow Clone on your action bar, you want Live by the Sword, you want Blade Barrier, and you want Omni Slash. Okay, and you want it in this order as well, and I'll explain that later to you guys. The pieces of gear we chose was Pendant of Eternity. I did try it out with the Raven's Claw. I did do the variant with the Satan set to give the armor break, and it wasn't as good. So we went with the Pendant of Eternity. It yielded the most damage. Judge, Jury, and Executioner. I did try the Harlem Crest physical, as you can see here, but it wasn't nearly close. We also tried the Genjin Battle Helmet set bonus, and it wasn't good at all. It was awful. All right, but Pendant of Eternity, Judge, Jury, and Executioner. We went with the Rainbow because it's very affordable to make. It's easy. The Torch of Shadows is best in slot. It'll yield about 100 to 250,000. I mean million or more damage. Okay, if it you get lucky procs, but it's very expensive, and in order to try to get it to 115, it can be next to impossible. But if you are lucky, this would be a BIS. But Rainbow is just as good. We also tried it with the Satan Chalice, wasn't as good. Havoc was pretty decent, not a bad choice, but Rainbow was the way to go. The Kogura Sumaru is the best in slot weapon all around. The Kogura Sumaru buff that you get, let me pull up the spread here, just the spreadsheet here, just so I can explain it to you guys without saying anything incorrectly. Is going to be, so when it procs, you'll get 30% dodge, speed, attack speed, and physical damage, all at 30%. I've tested multiple weapons, and the levels doesn't really seem to affect the damage percentage. It's all 30% across the board, whether you have a Kogura Sumaru at level 1 or 18. Okay, mine is 18, and you'll see on the action bar, on the buffs at the bottom when it procs, it's 30%. Okay, that's your best in slot weapon. We also did a test run with the Judge. I'm trying to find it here. A physical Judge for the damage reduction and toughness and the extra dodge as well, with a one-handed shield. With a shield, which is the Blood Word physical, and it was pretty good as well. And then you'll see it at the end of the video. But you definitely want Kogura Sumaru. All right. We did test with the Godfather as well. It was decent. I guess it'd be an okay starter weapon. The Hanzo's Flame would be an okay starter weapon as well. All right. The best chest all the way around is Force because of the armor break. Okay, the armor break debuff it applies onto the targets is insane. So you definitely want this chest. We tested it with the Dark Shroud. It was decent. Tested it with the Gladiator's Demise. Okay, it was okay. And we also did, the Enigmatic and Mayhem chest, and it wasn't good. But the best chest you want is this. If you don't have this chest, you can go with the Dark Shroud or Gladiator's Demise for now as a placeholder until you get it. The gloves, hands down, Assassin Mitts. Okay, you should just only get Assassin Mitts. There's plenty of them on the auction house. If you can't get Assassin's Mitts, look for another glove that has physical strength, crit rate, crit damage on it, and you'll be fine. Okay, any gloves is really okay, but this will be your best in slot. The belt, we tried the trusty tribal belt. It was not more damage at all in all the tests that we did. In the end, monkey skin belt was the best belt all the way around. Okay, it gives you, 15% cooldown reduction, attack speed, speed inherently to farm, 9% damage reduction, all the stats plus 3 to all talents. It's an amazing belt. To me, it's a meta belt across the board. All right. The ring, we went with the Demon Eye ring. We did try. What was the ring that was recommended on the build, if I remember correctly here? I'm going to mention it to you guys so you have, some options to go with. Why can't I think of the ring right now? Anyways, just go with the Demon Eye ring. It'll be your best in slot. You can try, I guess. Actually, I take that back. The Demon Eye ring was the best ring. Okay. There wasn't really any other viable option, and there's so many of them in the auction house that you should be fine. The potion, the meta potion of this season, the bottle of sake. Hopefully next season they change and buff the other potions up, but this is by far the best potion in the game, with the crit rate and the crit damage. Okay, and then the boots, Assassin Shadow boots. We did test it out with the Darkhide boots physical. It wasn't better damage at all, but it's a good starter boots. If they're cheaper on the auction house, you can start with them. Okay, a physical one. All right. On the pet, you want to use Slate for the extra attack speed. We tested it with, what was it? Perdition? Potency for the armor break instead of using force on your chest, and it wasn't good at all. Okay, you have to use force on your chest. The moment if you put force on your pet and you try using the Satan chest, the Satan pieces, or even if you try, depending on the pet, to put up armor break with potency, you're gonna lose 400 to like 600 million damage. It's not worth it at all. But we tried various aspects. I just wanted to let you guys know, don't waste your rubies. We tested it. It's that's what it is. The helmet, the Dominator, is the best helmet I think for me for the pet as meta, because of the attack speed, and allows your pet to keep stacking the elemental break, which is meta across the board on your follower. And depending on your class, you can use the Mercenary with a shroud and a perdition weapon, okay, or other weapons, if you're gonna be able to keep him alive. But we recommend using the Ranger because in all circumstances you will have more uptime with the Ranger as opposed to the Mercenary. Okay, again, class dependent. If you have a class that's able to keep your Mercenary up a lot more than the Ranger class, then go with the Mercenary and put the Shroud of Elements and Perdition or whatever other weapon you want on there to increase your damage and cater to your class. But majority of the classes and builds we've done, and even from last season, the Ranger has more uptime, therefore more debuff uptime, equating to more damage overall. Because he's at range, he's attacking from range. If you position yourself in a certain way, you'll get more damage out of it. All right, that's the reason why we always go with the range for end game. For farming initially at the beginning of the season, like we are now, and for XP, Mercenary 1000%. You never want to use the Ranger right now. You're going to be holding yourself back. The Ranger is for end game pushing wormholes. It's not for farming, speed farming, Inferno 5. Do not use the Ranger for that. Don't get confused. For talents, this is the reason why we coined the build the Evasive Slasher. Okay? Because of the blade barrier that gives you huge dodge chance. Okay, I tweaked the build around from what we've seen online, and we were able to get more damage by maxing out Fan of Knives and maxing out Blade Barrier and putting 10 points into Omni Slash. There's other build variants there where it only puts 1 point in Omni Slash. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Yeah, they only put 1 point in Omni Slash, and let me make sure I'm looking at the correct build here. That way you guys can have different variants. Yeah, so there's a build variant that you can put 1 point in Omni Slash, only 10 points in Blade Barrier. And that's pretty much. Oh, and then you max out Battle Glance for the AoE for trash clearing. You can go this route as well. But it did not yield more damage specifically on the dummy because there's no AoE targets to test on, right? But even on the 500 wormhole test that we did, this setup here did way more damage. But if you was struggling with trash clear, you could try, sacrificing 20 points in blade barrier and putting them into battle glance to get faster trash clear. Okay, and then obviously when you get to the boss, though, you're not going to get as much single target damage on the boss because there's no target aside from the boss. So who cares about this proccing on the closest enemy, right? All right. But anyways, that's what we tested, and that's what yielded the most damage consistently was this. But you could go with this option as well. Give the Ronin a chance to glance his attack into the closest enemy. I don't know, maybe this will proc on the boss, but at least testing it on the dummy, it did not, the math didn't add up. It was way less damage across the board. But I'm giving you guys the option. You do with it what you want. This has yielded the most damage. Probably for Inferno 5, you might want to go with this. It might be better. We'll see. You guys do your own test for mid-game. For hero levels, we put 50 points in critical damage. I would go first in Ancient Power, then critical damage, then dump the rest into Strength. No point on getting attack speed. Okay, it wasn't worth it at all. Mercenary, as usual, you want to put this on your Ranger, the multi-shot, okay, which shoots multiple projectiles, therefore applying the debuff of the shadow, the shot of elements faster. You want rapid fire to increase the attack speed. You want piercing shots, so it goes through multiple targets, applying the debuff to multiple targets. And then you want 5 points on scatter shot, which has a chance to rebound the shot to closest enemies, therefore applying debuffs to multiple targets more often. Okay, for the relic list, we went with this. I'm not going to go through every single one of them. You can just take a picture. Okay, I'll mouse over them so you can see. But that's what we did. You could probably change out the magnet, okay, because you don't really need magnet for gold when you're wormhole pushing for something else. We are using the Book of Belial, which is 25% player damage when you're pushing. Okay, but while doing Inferno 5 speed farming, I would go with the pipe over the Book of Belial, and I would go with this setup. Okay. So the rotation for your damage should always be pop Shadow Clone first. That way it mimics all your abilities. Then you pop Live by the Sword. Then you pop Blade Barrier, and then you just spam Omni Slash. Okay? And just to show you how it works, it'll be like this. Boom, 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 boom. And then that's it. And then you keep smashing your Blade Barrier. And Live by the Sword. And then you keep going. So when you pop your Shadow Clone, he literally pops a clone of yourself right there. And every time you cast an ability, that clone copies it. You see? You do Blade Barrier, he pops Blade Barrier. And if you do Omni Slash, he'll do Omni Slash. So your damage is doubled. So you always want to do that. Shadow Clone, Live by the Sword, Blade Barrier, Omni Slash. That's the rotation, okay? As for runes, you want to rune everything with Ja runes for the physical damage. Okay, so you want physical damage on everything. I put one attack speed rune, a Dao rune on the demon ring, the demon eye ring. Actually, and also on the belt to reach the attack speed threshold. So what we did here, when I pop all my cooldowns and we're attacking, we're at 6.2 attacks per second. Okay, and that's enough. There's no point on filling the rest of your gear with attack speed runes because you're not going to be able to attain a 7 attacks per second. All right, so as you're playing and as you're getting upgraded, you can play around with attack speed runes and physical runes, always keeping in mind your attack speed breakpoints. Okay. But the one thing to notice, the reason why we call this build the evasive slasher, is when you pop your clone. Right now, my dodge chance is only 39%, 104% with the pet attacking. Okay. %104 dodge. You're pretty much going to be almost unkillable while doing Inferno 5, especially. And then in the wormholes, it's going to make you really tanky. You can still die. Don't get me wrong. You can still die. But your survivability is massive. Okay? So you're pretty much dodging every attack. And you're slashing across the screen to groups of mobs and just deleting them. Okay? And that's why we, coined the build evasive slasher. And that's it right there. 104% dodge chance. All right? Keep in mind, again, these builds are meta builds. They're end game builds. Don't try to go for max sockets, max quality right off the bat. You'll drive yourself crazy. Just, go for any socket, any quality for now. But the one items I do recommend going for right away is the sword and going for the chest. The other sockets, you can use what you want to do. All right. I do have 2 build variants where I do a 500 wormhole clear with this, including Uber Reaper. And then we also have a build variant where we use the Judge for the tankiness, in case you're dying in wormholes, where we use the Judge with the Blood Word, okay, variant. All right. Okay, so this will be a 500 wormhole clear with the Kogura Sumaru two-handed weapon. And as you guys can see here, the boss is going down pretty quickly. So the weapon is really strong. Okay, you can even clear with the one-hander and shield combination, for safe, to be safe during the rift, during the wormhole. But then when you get to the boss, you can switch to the Kogura Sumaru if you happen to have that weapon as well. It's something you could do in the future for endgame. Okay.
You have Star 5 anyone?
Yeah, he melted this boss though.
Not now.
Look at that. Alright, so boom. Good.
Try Uber Def. Uber Damien, I mean. No, you can just go to the boss. You only clear all the trash to get the loot. You don't care about the loot. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh,
Deleted.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Oh wait, that's Inferno 1. That doesn't matter though, right?
Try it on 5. Change it and try it on 5. Do it again. Oh, reset.
Okay, he had 800 million health there. Let's see how much he has here.
Less health?
Yeah, less health. It's random, the amount of health.
So you crushed it, right?
Crushed it. Deleted.
You
Yeah.
gotta find a Shadow Realm to do Shade of Death.
Alright, so this is a one-handed shield variant with the Judge and the Bloodword shield. It's very safe. You take minimal damage, and I wanted to show you guys here how we cleared it as well to give you 2 options. Looks like he's going down faster with the one-hander. Yeah, he got deleted with the one-hander. But that wasn't the other Gabriel. He never did the spike. Alright, let's see how we do on Uber Damien. Yeah, he got wrecked. Alright. So we're Alright, so this is the meta build damage test. You can see the damage was 1.3 billion from the previous test if you're looking at the video. And then this right here is another 1.3 billion back to back. Okay? So this build used the highest damage for the samurai, and go out there and get it. It is using the Torch of Shadows, but the rainbow also achieves 1.1 billion to 1.2 billion. So it's not, in my opinion, it's not worth risking the dice roll on the Torch of Shadows to get minimal amount of damage increase. Okay, 100,000, 200,000 is nothing when you're doing billions. Alrighty. Alright guys, if the content helped you, please comment, like, smash that subscribe button, and visit us on the Twitch channel, Fearmaky on Twitch. Okay, I'll be happy to help you guys answer questions. If you guys have a class that you would like for me to create a guide on, and if you have a guide already or some information out there you want me to put it to the test and, you know, make a meta build out of it and see if it can, you know, do the 1 billion damage like the rest of the classes, stop by the channel, let me know. Until next time, roll deep. Woo!